Eddie could join us. Now, the opposition NDC is alleging that the Electoral Commission is illegally transferring votes into the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency ahead of the by-election. The party says since the seat was declared vacant by Parliament, the EC has failed to convene an IPAC meeting to discuss guidelines for the conduct of the election, a situation they describe as worrying. The General Secretary of the party, Johnson Esedun-Ketia, wants the Commission to provide clarity on the matters to salvage their fast eroding credibility, according to him. He's been speaking to Kwesi Parker-Wilson, who joins me live. Parker, shed a bit more light on what Mr. Esedun-Ketia has been saying.
Right, so then we know the demise of the MP for Ayawaso West Wogon constituency, and we know that the Parliament has officially communicated to the Electoral Commission declaring that seat vacant. Now, Esedun-Ketia believes that if Parliament has communicated to the Electoral Commission that the seat is vacant, what they need to do is to convene an IPAC meeting and discuss the modalities, the roadmap, the guidelines for the election. But the Electoral Commission has failed to do that, which he believes that it is quite worrying. And again, they are engaging in transfer of votes in the constituency, and according to him, it's actually not the best. And again, it is not within our constitution that if there's a by-election, the Electoral Commission would have to go on to conduct transfer of votes within the constituency. So what he is saying is that he wants the Electoral Commission to come out clearly to confirm or deny this allegation that indeed such exercise is going on within the constituency. Because if indeed that is what is happening, it means that you are going to invite electorates who do not reside within the constituency to impose a particular candidate on the constituency, which wouldn't really inure well for the benefit of the constituency. So for him, he's not happy about the situation. He actually threatened to go to court should Electoral Commission fail to do that. And again, he indicated to me that he has written several letters to the Electoral Commission, and the Commission has failed to respond to the letters written to them.
Now, Parker, you are currently at the headquarters of the NDC. Yesterday, 4 presidential aspirants or flag bearer aspirants submitted their nomination forms. Who are those expected there today?
Okay, so today we are expecting Ekos Spio Gabra, Dr. Guzitano, and Stephen Atuguba. Now, just a while ago, one of the aspirants, Nudin Idrisu, just filed his nomination forms, and the party leadership have received the forms and have indicated to him that on the surface of it, the form seems complete. But of course, they would have to peruse the forms for 3 days. When they detect any clerical errors, they will invite him over to just do the correction or rectify the mistakes within the forms, because that is not a basis for disqualification. Then from there, they proceed on to the vetting process, where the vetting committee would decide whether or not the candidate will contest in the flag bearership position. Now, let me say that if you look behind me, it appears that the conference room is quite empty. Unlike yesterday, when we had a number of teaming supporters from the NPP, clad in party colors and branded T-shirts of respective candidates. Today, the situation is quite different. And I wanted to find out from the executives why it is so, but they tell me that perhaps it's about the candidate, it's about who is coming to file the nomination, because yesterday, the former president was here, Professor Joshua Alabi and other candidates were here, and the place, the enclave, the entire enclave of the headquarters was really full to capacity. But today it's not the same. So we are told that Dr. Guzitano will be coming to the party office around 1:30, or perhaps that is when we'll see a number of party supporters here to throw their weight behind him. So this is what we have today. And let me say that by close of day, 5 p.m., the party is going to close the nomination for filing of their nomination forms. And any candidate who fails to do so by close of day today, the candidates risk crashing out from the contest.
Parker-Wilson, for that report from the NDC's headquarters. We move from that story, and the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, SHRAJ, has recommended that a boy brutalized by military men when he was 16 years old should be granted a compensation of 30,000 Ghana cedis. On April 4, 2016, Christopher Bama Okombian was alleged to have stolen a mobile phone by 3 military persons. He he was invited to their barracks and allegedly assaulted after they failed a second time to get the missing phone from him. We bring you some recommendations later, but now head of Joy News Gender and Social Protection Desk Jojo Kobna did capture this brutality in his documentary, As If We Weren't Humans. Here are extracts.
From Nalerigu, we connect to Bumprugu to meet a boy who has a peculiar story.
This is my last life.
In 2016, a 16-year-old boy, Combian, was accused by a group of military men of stealing a mobile phone.
I was really beaten up. I was lashed with military branches. I cried, protesting that they should stop, but they did not. They stripped me naked. They kicked me. And they hung me on a tree, and my leg could not touch the ground. I begged for water, but they did not listen. They melted rubber and dropped it on my back and on my genitals.
2 years after he was brutalized, Combian tells a story.
So, started deflating the tie, and I said he shouldn't do that. It doesn't belong to me. He refused, and he started caning me. Caned me about 3 branches of a neem tree, and it all broke. So I was about to run, and he uncuffed me, caned me. I was with a singlet with a pant. So I was caning now to a point I can't turn myself. I have to run to a nearest chief house there. But as I was running to the chief house, I was shot by Samson Otuahine, but the bullet didn't get me. So I was able to get to the chief house. When I got there, the chief was able to receive me. But when they came, they were asking the chief to release me to them. The chief refused, and they pointed gun on the chief, and the chief released me to them. And they were booting me. I was still with the uncle. They were booting me back to the old airport. When we got there, my dress was full of blood. They removed my top and down all.
Those were excerpts of As If We Weren't Humans, the Hotline documentary by Jojo Kobna. Now let's take some excerpts of Shraj's recommendations. You'll be getting them on your screen in a moment. Now, as of April 25, 2016, when the complaint was lodged with Shraj, Christopher Barma was 16 years and 8 months and hence was a child. It was also found that the brutality suffered by Christopher took place on April 1, 2016 and not April 4, 2016. Shraj found that Christopher was subjected to brutalities and other dehumanizing acts by the military personnel on suspicion of him having stolen a mobile phone. One of the military persons who assaulted Christopher is at large, and it was found further that the victim was totally subordinated to the will and power of the police or the soldiers for 7 hours. Shraj also found that Corporal Samson Etiahene and Corporal Collins Aisen admitted their culpability for the brutalities, apologized, and wanted the intervention of the chief of Sheshegu community to help settle the matter. Now, Shraj said the degree of torture deserves a redress. Now, based on its findings, Shraj recommends that the respondents should render an unqualified apology to Christopher Barma, which is to be published within 3 months of the decision. Shraj recommends that the Attorney General and Minister of Justice take steps to criminalize torture in accordance with Ghana's obligation under Articles 4, 1 and 2 of the Convention Against Torture. The commission has charged the Ministry of Defense and the Ghana Armed Forces take steps to ensure that Christopher Bama undergoes a thorough and comprehensive medical examination and care in any of the military hospitals run by the Ghana Armed Forces, and also rehabilitate him to enable him to lead a meaningful life. Now, Shraj commended FX Law and Associates, in particular lawyer Francis Xavier Sosu, for his fight for the marginalized, and whose effort led to the submission of the complaint on behalf of the victim. Now, that lawyer I just named, Francis Xavier Sosu, was speaking earlier on News Desk, and he applauded Shraj for the recommendations.
Often said that the end justifies the means. So now we've seen the light, which has always been at the end of the tunnel. Those times were tunnel experiences, and I'm happy that today we have a report, we have a recommendations that we can work with and we can follow. And I'm really, really excited. And I think that when you look at how extensive the report is, somehow we probably can pardon Shraj. And I think that this is a very good work that Shraj has done. The report is very, very comprehensive. If you look at the number of witnesses that were interviewed, the number of documents that Shraj had to review and all that, and you look at how their findings and the recommendations, I think that we can commend Shraj. Criminalizing torture. You know, the reason is that many people in this country, you see, the reason why we have lots of people, you know, torturing others without any impunity is because a lot of them get away with it. And sometimes, even if you get charged, at best, you probably will be charged with causing unlawful harm or maybe assault, you know, because we don't have any specific provision that criminalizes torture. And I think that the Attorney General would have to take a very critical look at this recommendation and take steps and make sure that we can have torture on our statute books as a crime.
Now, the victim's brother, Richard Combian, who spoke earlier on behalf of the family, said they are satisfied with the recommendations.
I am very happy with the report. First of all, let me thank Joy FM and the other media house who has helped me in following the case. And I also thank my lawyer too.
So, please proceed.
I am very, very happy with the report. I haven't had a copy on my own, but I had a call from my lawyer this morning that the report is out. And he has briefed small for me. I will get a day and go to him for more. But so far, I'm happy with it.
How is Christopher doing, and have you informed him about this?
Not yet. I just had a call from the lawyer this morning, and I'm not feeling well.
Okay, but how is Christopher doing? Would like to know, because this is all about him.
He's doing better than the first.
Some good news there for Christopher and his family. But away from his story, a 36-year-old man, Effort Dankwa, has been charged with attempted murder in a mysterious shooting in Tema 3 years ago. In January 2016, Joy News broke the story of a 29-year-old pregnant woman, Benita Dankwa, who went to bed with her husband but woke up paralyzed. A police report indicated that she had been shot at close range, but their room was not broken into. Manasseh Azuriawuni, who broke the story, was in court and now joins me in the studio for more on this story. Manasseh, what happened in court today?
Daniel, what happened was they still had some pre-trial arrangements to complete, but the accused lawyer was not in court, so it was adjourned to January 9, 2019, and they are hoping that by that time those processes will be filed so that they reach an agreement on the exact date to start the trial itself.
Right, so what of efforts? So what's the latest with him?
Well, he was in court today, and when they called, he actually went forward, and he was the one who said his lawyer had told him that he was on his way. But as at the time the case was called, his lawyer hadn't arrived. So after the adjournment, he left the court.
Now, this happened nearly 3 years ago. Why has it taken so long, the case, I mean?
The investigation took quite some time, and I must say it intensified when we got into the story. So it took some time, and we are also told that when the case started, the attorney or the prosecutor who was working on the case left the department, so they had to reassign, and those who came had to take time to familiarize themselves with the issues and then proceed. But we are told that all those hurdles have been cleared and we are good to go now.
And how has Benita and her family been reacting to the pace at which this case has been dealt with?
Well, they initially, when the processes were ongoing, they were really not so happy about it. They often complained about the dragging and having to go to court. I think they started even going to court in Tema and having to go in a wheelchair and all of that, but they were not seeing the clear way out. But now they appear to be happy, things are in order, and the case is likely to go. So I spoke to her father, that's Benita's father.
I wish him say it is on the right course. We are looking for the judges to come out with what they must say. And the CCI can.
What shall I say? What shall I say about
court?
Somebody can call Tema Court and Samobaha.
Oh, yeah, starting with Tema Court, 3 years. Okay. Off and on till now. Now, Attorney General report, MI. When you have problems, as we send our book at but I solve the problem, then we hope say we are starting. Yeah, fresh.
So, Manasseh, in wrapping up, what have we just heard?
He is basically saying they started this process in a lower court in Tema. They've gone through some time. There were a few hitches, but they are happy that as we stand or as we speak, the case is at the High Court and a trial is about to begin. And he's also saying that they have confidence in the judicial system to deliver justice in this matter.
Thanks, Manasseh Azuri-Awuni. And we'll keep following this story of the unfortunate shooting of Benita Dankwa. Now, the Ghana Integrity Initiative is demanding updates and publication of reports from the Office of the Attorney General on corruption cases in the country. A press statement read by Programs Manager Mary Awelana Ada cited several corruption cases that have been investigated by the media but remain unresolved and hanging. The organization is asking the president to step in and call government appointees to order. Programs Manager of the Ghana Integrity Initiative, Mary Awelana, joins me for some clarification. Now, Mary, in the first place, you are said to have named some cases. Which cases are you most interested in?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to you and afternoon to your viewers as well. One of the things we are doing as part of the activities running up the year is to play a role as citizens, active civil society, to demand of government some of the issues that have come up, not just this year, but running issues which are corruption related, particularly those for which government committed to deal with. And we as well know some investigations started on some of these. One of such cases in point, as you have asked of, is the 74 million waste bin scandal that Join, the multimedia group, put out there in 2017. We do not know the status thereof, and we have heard the worrying lamentations of your station and also the investigative journalists over time as to the frustrations and hurdles he has encountered going forward. And so for the people of Ghana and for us in civil society, we believe that as we end the year, we need government, particularly those agencies that have been mandated with power to investigate and prosecute, who are supposed to be doing that as we speak. They should tell us exactly where they are with this case, with other cases such as the 98 million, again, that was done by multimedia on the fumigation contracts and then sanitation, which was supposed to be done as well by just on these two cases. We also remember the GFA case where there was an investigation ongoing. The people of Ghana need to know what is going on. We remember the Metro Mass transport issue as well, MMT, where the buses were values were reduced to ridiculous amounts to be sold to people as scraps.
Right.
We know there was an investigation on this Ghana bauxite as well, and then the visa scandal that happened, which reduced this nation to such a ridicule. We think these are issues that government should be concluding the year by addressing.
Now, have you made contact with government in the past? I know that the anti-corruption space has, of course, GII, one of the main institutions, and some officials of GII even involved with some of these state institutions. Have you contacted government in the past? What responses have you been given? Exactly.
We have contacted the AG's office in relation to other issues, perhaps not directly on this, and we have had feedback on as to whether it is happening. This is what we are doing. But then as to the details of what exactly the issues are, we do not know. And that is exactly why we are putting it out there that we need to know. Ghanaians need to be informed, to be able to make informed decisions on trusting our governments when it comes to the fight against corruption per their promises. And so there is not particular evidence, but then we are looking at this from the basis of evidence that you talk about. And there again, let me say that for someone or for your institution, we have heard, and from the background, we have evidence that a lot of work has gone on as to getting information on some of these cases that are pending. And you as well always hit the blocks when you try to go forward.
Right.
It's also not our fault. Let me say that we have a space where there is limited access. And so when you ask and you do not receive, even though we have a constitutional provision that says Ghanaians should be given information when we need it in Article 21, there is no right to information that legally gives us that right to go and ask and be given. And so when you are not given contract information, you are not given updates, it becomes very difficult to demand it. So the right person to tell us is the investigating and prosecution agencies, and also the president, who has the power to mandate these institutions to give us that information. Right.
Thank you very much, Mary Awelana Ada. She's a programs manager at the Ghana Integrity Initiative. Now, city authorities in Kumasi are compelled to abandon a planned opening of access roads to the KJTL markets to traffic to ease congestion because traders have refused to move out. Traders have vowed to occupy roads day and night until the Christmas is over in order to conduct business. Reports suggest some of them carried through their bluff, spending nights on the road after a face-off with authorities over the weekend. Nana Aljima visited the market and filed this report.
Motorists and commuters have endured vehicular and human congestion for the past 3 years when work began on the KJTL market. It's however been a blessing in disguise for traders who took over the road to do business. With about 95% of work done, authorities believe opening the road to traffic, at least for the festive period, will bring some relief. When traders had a hint of the planned initiative, they decided to pitch camp there and have defied an order to quit. They questioned the decision of city authorities to create space for vehicles at their expense when the market itself is yet to open. Some of them are reported to have stayed on the road overnight on Saturday, insisting on a simultaneous opening of the market and roads. We know we are trading in the middle of the road. Yes, we have to make way for vehicles to use the road. but we have invested a lot of money into our businesses, especially for Christmas. It is unfair to make us lose these amounts. We have slept in the cold and endured mosquitoes because we don't want to lose this space. The mayor and his task force are witnesses to that. We will protect this space until we are out of words. All we want is to trade here during the Christmas. After the festivities, we will leave. The KMA mayor was put there for our well-being, and we can't fight him. But he should bear with us for this period. It was business as usual for traders when we visited the site on Monday. Authorities were forced to remove barricades, creating more space for both recalcitrant traders and pedestrians. Public Relations Officer at Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, Godwin Okumanyame, speaks of alternatives.
Now we are holding on for us to review it, and by so doing, we're going to intensify our education to see the way forward before at any point in time that the road is open to traffic. It's going to be for only vehicles and not traders to come and sell it.
As more people move to the city center to shop for Christmas and traders taking over the pavements, there are fears of a stampede, as happened earlier in the year. Attempts by Joy News to get cameras into Central Market through the 18-lane yielded no positive results. Just like many others coming into Central Market, we had to abandon the course because the congestion or the crowd was too thick that we couldn't get our cameras through. Many people are also abandoning their quest to get to Central Market because of the heavy congestion here. My name is Nanaya Ojima, reporting.
Still live on Joy News today. With still more stories on shopping coming up because traders are warning of challenging times next year if firm measures are not taken to stabilize the city. And in sports, following the big news of Jose Mourinho leaving his job at Manchester United, reactions have been coming in. We'll bring them to you in sports. But now it's time for business with Daryl Kwao.